Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to do a little bit of fault finding to find out why we've got no dial tone on this Philips 2, this handset here. So if you listen carefully, on Philips 1 I do have dial tone. You can hear that, but when I do it on this one here, you can hear there's nothing. Okay, so what happened was this morning I got a phone call. I went to answer it on this one, and basically I managed to answer the phone. I just did this, answered the call, couldn't hear anything, and then I thought it was just like, a prank call or something, so then I hung up, and then a few seconds later it rang again, went to answer it again, and again there was absolutely nothing there. After that I did check for dial tone and I didn't hear any dial tone. The phone then rang again, I used this one and it worked absolutely fine. So I know it's a problem with this Philips handset 2. If obviously both your handsets are dead, then you want to make sure that it's not the line that's faulty. So actually plug a corded phone into your test socket off your master socket, and then as long as you're confident that your corded phone is working, you can always check it around a neighbour's house, then you know if it's not working in the test socket that the fault is to do with the actual service provider. It could well be an outside fault on your line, in which case then don't do too much fault finding inside, because nothing's going to make a difference what you do inside if the line coming into the house is dead. But in this instance I know it's an internal problem because this handset's working and this one's not. So first things I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it back on the base station just to see if it will do any quick charge thing or reset itself. Okay, so there's still nothing there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the base station for around 20 to 30 seconds just to see if that resets anything. Obviously you can do it at the back here, or you can just go to where it's plugged in and turn it off at the power point on the wall. So I'm just going to fast forward for the next 20 seconds. Right, so 20 seconds has passed. Plug that back in. It says searching at the moment, wait until they both pick up. Right, okay, so we've got a signal again, just double check the good one. Got dial tone. And I've got nothing there. Right, next thing, we know this is working, so maybe it could be a battery issue. Perhaps you can see that it is charging and it is working fine. When I plug it on here I can see that the charge is going up and down, but maybe they're at the end of their life and they haven't got enough oomph to make the dial tone. So what I'm going to do is on the faulty one I'm going to take the batteries out and I'm just going to swap them for the good phone. Right, again you can see Philips 2 here, so let's listen for dial tone now. So there's still nothing there, and let's listen for dial tone here with the other batteries. Yeah, you can still hear the dial tone, so it's not the battery. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to reset the phone. So I'm going to go to menu. Now obviously it's going to vary depending on your phone. On this one I need to go to advanced settings. I'm going to go down to reset, then I'm going to press OK. It's going to ask me to confirm. I'm just pressing OK. Right, now it says welcome, so that's put the handset back to the original state. Now I'm just going to quickly run through whatever it needs me to do. Right, now let's try it again. No, still nothing. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unregister this and then re-register it, just in case it's some communication problem between here and here. So I'm going to go to menu, I'm going to go down to advanced setting again, press OK. I'm going to go down to registration, I'm going to go down to unregister and press OK. Now it's going to ask me for a PIN number. If you've never done anything with it before, probably your PIN number is going to be 0000. So 4 zeros. Obviously if you have changed your PIN then you need to remember your PIN. Right, okay, so by default it should be 4 zeros. Okay. And now it's going to ask me which handset I want to deregister. This is handset 1, well I want to deregister handset 2. So I'm going to move that to handset 2. You can see 1 or 2. Obviously if you have 3 or 4 handsets, because this can carry up to 4 handsets, you need to select whichever one it is that's not working. Right, okay, and then it's asking me to unregister, so I'm going to press OK. And now you can see it's come up with please register handset. So now it's been unregistered. Now, to register it, we need to put this into pairing mode and we need to put this into pairing mode. Now, if you have a close look, you can see that we've got a little page button here. So again, it's going to vary depending on your one, but on this one, we just have to hold it down until this flashes. Sometimes your base station will beep. Sometimes you might have to do it for longer, for example, 10 seconds. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, there we go. So now by holding down the page button, I've put that into pairing mode. So now I'm going to go to menu, and I'm going to go down to advanced settings again, and this time we're going to go to registration. It's going to ask me for my PIN, 4 zeros, press OK, and now they're going to be searching for each other. And there we go, you can see now it's registered. So if I was to tap the page button, it's now paging on both phones. Right, so now let's check for dial tone again. No, so there's still no dial tone. So it's definitely communicating with the base station. Let's just go to the intercom here, see if we can dial the other phone. So I'm going to press internal. Okay, so that's working fine. And let's ring into this one here. And now let's do it the other way. Right, okay. So let's see if I can answer it. Hello? 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 Now that's interesting. I can hear my voice coming out of here. Hello? 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 So if I speak into this microphone on the faulty phone, I can hear it coming through here. But when I speak into the microphone of the good phone, I can't hear it coming through here. So I think I know what the problem is now. The problem is the speaker of this phone here. So it sounds like it's not working when in fact it actually is working. So now to test it out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ring in from my mobile phone to this, and I'm going to basically have a conversation, and then you can ring out from here to your mobile phone. So I've got my mobile phone here, and I'm just going to dial in, and I'm going to answer it on this one. Right. Okay, so it's answered the call. I'm just going to put it on loudspeaker. So I've got this on loudspeaker. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm speaking into this and you can hear it there. But now, if I take this off loudspeaker, and I'm going to speak into my phone, hello, 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 you can't hear it coming through there. So basically, it is working, it is connected to the line, but the speaker's not working. And just the last test I'm going to do is I'm going to ring into this phone here just to make sure it can make outgoing calls. Right, I can't show you, but I've just got my mobile phone number up on here. Remember, this is the faulty handset. There we go. Just hang that up. Right, so there we have it. Basically, the phone itself is okay. It is acting as a phone. The problem is the speaker here. So we can't actually hear anything. So my next job now is to take it apart and see if I can see anything obvious with the speaker. Obviously, if you're doing this yourself and then you don't want to take it any further, it means you have to buy a new handset, because to pay someone to get it repaired, it would be cheaper just to go out and probably get yourself a new twin pack of phones. But because I like kind of doing this myself, I'm going to take this apart and see. It might be as simple as a broken wire or something. Right, so I'm just going to fast forward through most of this just to see if I can see anything obvious. I've taken the batteries out. I've already located one of the screws here beneath the battery compartment, so I'm going to undo that. Hopefully it will all then start to make sense what I need to undo. Obviously, if your phone is under warranty, do not do this. Just take it back to the place you bought it. Normally, if it's in 1 year, you're going to have a warranty, well, at least in the UK anyway, and then just take it back and get yourself a new one. Just trying to break the seal all the way round. Right, there we go. Right, so now I've got a little, I can see the speaker up here. I've got a few little screws that I need to undo just to be able to lift this out. Right, nice and gently, I'm just going to lift that out there. Okay, and that's the speaker up the top here. Right, it doesn't look like there's any broken wires there on first look. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do anything with this now. I'm just going to pop out the speaker. It's held in, it's kind of held in with some sticky tape. I'm going to have a good look around it and see if I can see anything that's causing this. Okay, so I can't see anything obviously wrong with the speaker, but I do want to prove that it is the speaker that's at fault and not the actual circuit board or anything else. So what I've done is I've just got some old headphones here. Now I don't care if these headphones break because they're old anyway. Hopefully they won't break, but I've just got two little bits of wire, and what I'm going to do is I just want to use the headphones as the speaker, and then if it works on these points here, I know 100% then that it is that speaker that is faulty. So I'm just going to run one of the wires, just wrap it round the tip there, and I'm just going to hold the other one onto one of the rings there. Okay, you can see what I've done there. That one's around the tip, and I'm just going to hold that wire there. Now it's going to be fiddly. Now what I forgot to mention before I took this apart is that I've unplugged the base station from the actual telephone line, so it's still connected to the power, but it's not connected to the telephone line, because otherwise I don't want to dial out by mistake. I could end up dialing the emergency services because this phone is still live. So make sure when you're doing this that you unplug the telephone line from the actual telephone socket, and then you've got no danger of dialing out. Right, so I've got the other handset here, and I'm just going to dial the intercom, and I'm going to answer it. So now, when I plug my headphones in, I should be able to hear my own voice coming through the other speaker here. So let's just plug the headphones in, and I'm just going to touch the two contacts where the wires go to on the actual circuit board itself. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, right, okay, I can definitely hear my voice. It's definitely working through here. So now I definitely know that it's a speaker that's faulty. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a continuity test between the wires between the circuit board here, and can you see I've just stripped back a bit of the insulation there, just in case these wires are faulty, because if they're faulty that would be a very easy fix. If the speaker's faulty, then it's not going to be an easy fix. So I'm just going to put my multimeter over here to continuity, and when I touch the wires together, you can hear it makes the sound. So I'm going to go the red wire on the circuit board. Let me just zoom in. Red wire on the circuit board, and I'm just going to tap the red wire, the contact here. Okay, so I know that the wire's okay. Now I'm going to do the same on the black. Okay. So unfortunately it's not the wires, it is the actual speaker. So I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to take the speaker apart just to see if there's anything obvious on it. Okay, so I took apart the little speaker. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. Normally they're not the sort of thing you can repair anyway. Now what I did is, the little sticker at the back, I just pumped those details into Google. So it was HY 1008 150 ohms, and this is just the first thing that's come up here. And if you have a look here, it says a 20mm speaker, and if you measure that speaker, it is actually 20mm. Just to give you an example, I'm not saying to use this one, you'd have to do more research, but if you have a look here, it's only 2 for $1, so you get 2 of them for $1. So obviously that is very, very cheap if you did want to try and solder the new speaker onto the phone. So what I'm going to do is, just for the fun of it, I've got some very old headphones here that are no longer usable because they're from a phone. This is like from the phones years ago where they had special jacks to use them. And I'm going to actually just take the speaker out, and I'm just going to fit it to the phone just to see what happens. Okay, so I've now removed the little speaker from these little old headphones here. Obviously it's a lot smaller than the other one. This looks to be about 10mm across. But I'm going to pop it in there, solder it up, and see what it sounds like. Now when it comes to these tiny little wires, if you're having problems soldering them, what you can do is you can just get a little flame, and you can just lick the flame over here to melt off the coating. I think it's some very thin sort of like enamel or something coating on it. So once you melt that back, then it will expose the wires underneath it. Now if you look closely there, you can see that the end bit here is green and then this bit's gone to copper. So basically, when you get your flame and you just gently lick it across there, you can see it burning off the coating to expose the copper underneath. You can see now that bit there is nice shiny copper to solder onto. So I've done a little bit of soldering and yeah, I've popped it back on there just temporarily, just tested it out, and I can now hear dial tone. So if you have a listen now, you can see the speaker's just here. I haven't fitted it properly yet, but if I take it off the hook, hopefully you can just about hear the dial tone. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put it back together. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the original cover, so obviously this is a lot smaller here. But I'm just going to tuck the wires out of the way there so they don't get harmed, and I'm just going to pop that original cover back on there. I'm going to put a little bit of sticky tape over here to keep it in place, and then it will put pressure against this one here because there was sticky tape on here originally, just to keep the speaker in its place. So I'm just using these little sticky tabs here. I got them from the pound shops for a massive pack of them. So they're not going to be great quality, but they will do the job. Right, okay, so it's nearly ready to put it back together, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a clean now, because what happens is throughout the years, it doesn't matter how clean you are with your phones, you're always going to get dust and dirt, you know, dead skin and stuff in those bits there. And also, while I'm here, I'm just going to get a tissue, and I'm just going to rub the contacts here, because sometimes you can get a little bit of a build-up from these bits here where they're touching the buttons. So if you find that one or two of your buttons are a bit hard to press, sometimes it can be as simple as just cleaning the contacts here, and then it will make a good contact again. Right, so I've given this a good clean out now. I've just put it under the tap and I've just rubbed my thumb all the way along to get it all nice and clean. So now what I have to do is I have to fully dry it before I put it back in here, because we don't want any dampness on it. So I'm just going to use a kitchen roll here just to clean it, and then I'm just going to put the hairdryer across it just to make sure all the dampness is taken out of it. And now it's just a case of putting it all back together. Right, let's test it out now. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can just put the volume up. So can you hear that now? So we have dial tone again. So now let's do some internal dialing. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, so I'm going to put this on here. Hello, 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 hello. So hopefully you can hear that now. And just to check the microphone, put the other one on here, and I'm just going to speak into here, and you can hear that there. So there we go. Right, so it might not be as loud as it was before, because obviously the speaker's a lot smaller, but it does appear to be pretty good. Right, so that's volume. That's volume full on the good one. And that's volume full on the bad one. Doesn't seem to be much difference in it. So there we go. By using simple fault finding techniques, we have now fixed these phones, and hopefully I'll get another few years out of them. Now, the odds of you having the exact same problem as I had in this video are going to be very slim, but by using those simple fault finding techniques that you've seen at the beginning of the video, hopefully you will be able to pinpoint your problem and possibly fix it. Even if you don't fix your problem, by learning a bit of fault finding skills, then it's kind of useful for many different things. It doesn't have to be phones. You can apply it to absolutely anything that breaks by just following a process and working your way through it. Then you will be able to eliminate certain things, and it will then guide you in the right direction to be able to fix whatever it is that you've got wrong, whether that be your car or anything. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.